Well, ladies and gentlemen, Six Fig Stock Trader here on YouTube, and today we're going to be talking CKB, Voyager token, and Bitcoin. We'll go over some of my CKB miner earnings in the last 24 hours as well. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you for being here. In yesterday's video, I was kind of talking about how we might see the market move as far as CKB was concerned at 2 p.m. Well, 2 p.m. rolled around, and we can see this clear shift of momentum to the downside. Unfortunately, we had a very nice little ascending triangle kind of going, and I was really disappointed that we could not get a pop to the upside. But on a grander scale, you could kind of make the argument there was some sort of symmetrical triangle action there as well. CKB seems to be somewhat recovering a little bit, so that's good to see. Let's look at CKB on a super high level. We can see that CKB on the 4-hour chart has now double tapped this 200 moving average. This is very important that CKB has done this. Let's go ahead and just try to find some sort of Fibonacci channel with CKB. So bear with me 1 second here, folks. And what we can see is that it appears that CKB is trading quite nicely within this channel. We can see that on the 4-hour chart, our next obstacle will be this 50 moving average at about 0.017-ish, somewhere in there. Here is what I would like to see happen with CKB. We got screwed out of this last ascending triangle that happened. If we can stay inside this Fibonacci channel to the upside, we might have what's called a Fibonacci sliver. And if you've never heard of this, because I coined the term, basically it's where we see price action scoot up against this sliver here, and basically price action is forced to make a move either up or downward. At this point in time, I would love to see CKB start ripping to the upside either today or tomorrow, somewhere around the 17th, because this Ichimoku cloud is very weak, and it would be very easy for CKB to pass through. If we get this bigger cloud hanging over, I will not have as much trust in price action. We could be kind of on the verge of seeing maybe a head and shoulders pattern play out as well, but I'm not really seeing the appropriate neckline for that to happen. So that is kind of good. With that said, we are going to have to wait and see what happens next. Let's go ahead and throw down some Fibonacci time sequence. I would really like to see something just pop up right in this February 16th, 17th region. I do think that would be pretty cool. And so if we look at this Fibonacci time sequence on the 4-hour chart, we can see that price action reversed a little bit here, reversed a little bit here, reversed a little bit here. So it would not surprise me to see September 16th, give or take 4 hours of 7 p.m. Central Time, that we may see CKB start to make a move. I've said in the past, if CKB falls out of this trend, I do think we will be onward down to this penny level. That's the strongest psychological support from here as far as I'm concerned. But with that said, if we get our little ascending triangle here and we see price action move up, man, it's gonna be a good little ride for CKB. Let's look at this on the 12-hour chart. We can see that we've come down and bounced off the 50 for now. That is good to see. And I do think that if CKB makes a run for it, we might even, depending on Bitcoin, this is all pending on Bitcoin, within the next couple weeks, we could be looking at possibly a 2.5 cent, 3 cent CKB. It's just all dependent on Bitcoin at this point. So if I had to guess, maybe a 2.5 cent CKB, somewhere in there. It would be awesome to see. I would really like to see the retest of the 4 cent range like everybody else. Let's move on to Voyager token, folks. And Voyager token is one of these tokens with such good potential, in my own opinion, but it's having some issues, especially with this whole token swap that they did. And I do know that the Voyager Heroes group has been fighting a lot of FUD that has been associated with this. Obviously, there are investors that want to tear Voyager down for two reasons. They want to buy back in cheaper, and additionally, they may be working for some competitive exchange. So this is how I'm trading Voyager token right now. Full disclosure, I do not own a single share of Voyager token right now. But what we can see is that Voyager token has suffered a series of descending triangles. And we can see that right after we did this token swap, we had this descending triangle that formed. Then we had some halfway decent support around this $2.80 level, somewhere in there. And we got another descending triangle on top of that. We saw price break to the downside. This is a huge problem right now for Voyager token, because if we look at a Fibonacci retracement schedule based on the year's high and low, we have now fallen below the 61.8 level, and that is a problem. But with that said, we can see this series of descending triangles that keeps dropping Voyager token in price. And again, I'm just here telling you what I observe, and I'm not trying to give anybody financial advice or anything like that. This is just my observations. We have somewhat of a descending triangle forming right now. So, if we cannot make another rally back up to the 61.8 level and hang out there for quite a while, we may be, in fact, seeing Voyager gear up for another run to the downside. And it wouldn't surprise me to see price action move down, or at least wick down to this $1.70 level. So again, we can kind of go over Voyager token here, looking at this time sequence, or I'm sorry, the retracement schedule. The 50% level was an important level for Voyager token right out of the gates. It failed to hold above this level. We came back down, attempted to get back on it, got back on it, could not hold it, moved down to the 61.8, crashed right through it after a day or so, retried to gain access into this 61.8. Now, we're going to see one of two things happen here with Voyager token. We can just pretend that this 50 moving average will extend like this, right? Let's look at this horizontally. This horizontal line, okay, we can see price is about to start squeezing hard. And what I mean by that is we are going to trade sideways probably until September 17th. Before something happens, we're either going to break out of this descending triangle, or we are going down to the 78.6. And it wouldn't surprise me to see Voyager token retest this 50 moving average. Obviously, at this point, we are super close. I doubt that we would see price action just fall before a retest of this. So if we break through the 50 on the 4-hour chart, there is a good sign that Voyager may make a run for this $2.94 level. But if we just bounce off to the downside of this 50 below this support line, I do think that in the next week we may in fact see a $1.70 Voyager token. I'm not trying to be scary. I'm just being real with everybody, because there's one thing I don't do is mess with people's money. So with that said, that's Voyager token right now and how I am trading this. Let's look at Bitcoin, because I have my concerns on Bitcoin, and if you're holding Voyager or any crypto, I guess, for that matter, this is something that we all need to be paying attention to. I've seen a lot of banter. The Golden Cross, Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. And folks, I want to show you guys something. On the weekly chart, we still have a bearish candle. And we're 4 days, 6 hours into this candle. So in the next 4 days, 6 hours, we need Bitcoin to close above $52,754. Just make it $53,000. Somewhere in there. But I want to show you guys something, especially on the weekly chart. We are so close to diving through this cloud, it's not even funny. But if we look at Bitcoin on the daily chart, we can see how price action came right down to this cloud. The bears tried to pull Bitcoin into the cloud. Once you get into the cloud, it's hard to get out of it on a daily or weekly chart. But I have said this in previous videos. I said that this could be one of the best bull traps we've ever seen in crypto history. And I've been saying my concerns about Bitcoin on the daily right now is that we will see Bitcoin pump just enough to bring this 50 moving average over the 200. That way we have price action above the 50, which will be awesome. We will have the 50 above the 200. And what's going to happen? Well, if there is a dump, we will see price action come down and strike through the 50 and the 200 moving average almost simultaneously. And man, this could be an issue for Bitcoin. And we can kind of see an example of this was back in 2020. We saw price action come up just enough to lift this 50 moving average above the 200, and then down we went. So this is what I'm looking for right now. It's going to take me about a week before I even consider getting back into the market. I'm not interested in missing out on any bull runs or anything like that at this point in time. If we do see a nice little rally up to 53,000, I think we might be seeing one badass cup and handle forming. So with that said, that's my take on Bitcoin. I want you guys to be careful because these altcoins and stuff like that usually trade with Bitcoin. And if we see this nasty little bull trap that could be forming, I'm not trusting this candle right now. We may be, in fact, in for something like that. So just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Have an exit plan in case things get nasty. No matter what you're trading. So let's look at my CKB miners and what they're doing. So I've got two of them. I was lucky enough to order a Dogecoin miner this morning. So now I'll be able to mine Doge and Litecoin at the same time. So yesterday's profits are looking kind of dim, pretty much because the way I had this pool set up is at a certain time it takes the profits for the day. And so we didn't quite get 24 hours worth of profits on this miner. So that is one thing to consider. And then we can see we have another 284 CKB in the bank already. So this thing will have been running for 48 hours at 11 p.m. Central Time tonight. So right now we are pretty much at right around like 36, 37 hours of runtime. And we've got, what do we got here? 318 plus 284, 600 CKB earned through the miner. So at that price, 600 times about 0.0165, somewhere in there. We'll just go 3.5. So in the last 36 hours, we've mined about almost $10 worth of CKB, which is pretty cool. I'll take that. So I'm excited to see the 24-hour profits One other thing we can look at, we'll just look at the hash rate and stuff like that. Bear with me 1 second. I clicked on the wrong thing. So we are right at about 2.05. This is right where we want it. I have seen this as high as 2.25. I've seen it as low as 1.85. You can definitely tell when the market, the blockchain is busy, because you'll see this go up higher. So with that said, it says I have one active miner, but we see 2.05 terahash. And so each CK box puts out 1. So that's kind of cool to see. Reject rate, what is that at? Look at the stats. Maybe I got to look in the profits. Sorry, guys. I don't know how to look at that right now. I just care about my profits. So with that said, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It ran a little bit long. Want to give a huge shout out to all the Patreons. You guys are awesome. And we do hope to see more Patreons join. If you'd like to join, $3 a month to support the channel. You get your name, YouTube channel name, or business name on this banner. You guys all have a wonderful day.